Hey, how's it going? So this morning I've done something that might divide opinion a little bit. Some people will be pleased that I've done it. Other people might be like, oh, you didn't need to. But before we get into that, let me just talk about what I've actually been doing. So we're on this section just after the put down off of the feature. That one is Pucker Up over on Route Down Raceway, and we're heading down a route, what was quite a rooty section. It still is pretty rooty, but I've been taking just a couple of these big sort of sinkers that'll tend to like swallow your front wheel and force you over the bars. Like the one in between this V had got pretty deep in there. Oh, looks like there's some tyre tracks. Somebody's got here before me. So I've been taking some of those out. I've also done a little bit of addition, or somebody has got here before me. A little bit of additions to this corner here because it just wasn't quite working properly, and what it was actually doing was sapping out your speed. Now it's fun to have the technicality of it, and it's good to have that kind of puzzle of having something that you've got to try and figure out. But it was, well, there's another section here that just was a real kind of mess just prior to the lip and the takeoff. Now, as I say, it's good to have that puzzle thing, but when it becomes just too much of a carry on, what I found personally is it was kind of spoiling this jump. And I have done this for selfish reasons. It's because I like this jump. It's a lot of fun. I really like the transition. Actually, I'm pleased with how that has turned out and bedded in. But just for a kind of, it's not huge. In fact, it's not that big at all. But just for a kind of messing around on, yeah, just sessioning and messing around on it, and just enjoying mountain bikes for what they are. And now that I've made those changes, I'm going to do exactly that. I don't get a lot of time for me. Just to kind of like session something and mess about on it. So I am open today, but everybody's kind of signed in, and I know that after doing that 3-step video that a lot of them are over there trying the 3 steps. So I'm just going to take some time for myself and just remind myself of why messing about and sessioning a feature is good fun. Okay, first try with the new run-in. It was a case, but that's alright. It gives me a bit of an idea. I'm not warmed up yet. Gives me a bit of an idea of how it's working. Let the messing about begin. Right, okay, sessioning jumps is great crack, and even I sometimes forget how much fun it is. Pretty pleased with the consistency of the takeoff. Seem to be hitting the same zone every time. Now, before I get too tired, it's time for a bit of an experiment. I've got an idea to build a gap jump that's going to be 20 foot. I've got a 12 foot hipped gap jump. There's a 13 foot one on Electric Landlady, but this one I want to put at 20 feet away. So that means that I don't know if you can see the yellow tape there, but where the end of the yellow tape is, that's going to be where the actual kind of wall for the landing is. Now, I kind of need to know whether I can do it or not. Well, not I kind of need to know, I do need to know whether I can do it or not. The transition should be very, very similar to this. Now, I've got a couple of aids to help me here. I've got my tape. I've got set at 21 feet. That reaches down to here. I've got a couple of lines on the ground. So this is 21 feet. That marks safety. That line is 20 feet. That means possible. Don't like to think about what that means. That means a case and probably a visit to the hospital when I try it on the actual one on Beggars Canyon. Anyway, so we'll try and put that out of our mind and do experiments like this to see if it can happen. I've also got my phone set up to help kind of video of me. I've got a bit of flat earth that I've got packed. It's it should show up tyre marks as when I hit down, but also this camera will help me as well. I'll set this GoPro up. I have, if I manage to achieve it, I've got a little prize of a Aldi's finest biscuit. But really what I want to do is I want to know if a mid-40s old man can hook his meat at least 21 feet off of a transition and a takeoff about that. I've said cake, that's that thing's fault. Started thinking about that sweet sugary goodness. If a guy in his mid-40s can hook his meat off a transition about that size and safely make it over to 21 feet, because I really am thinking of putting that wall gap at 20 feet. The big difference will be on the track that I'm thinking about at the moment. The run-in will be so much faster and I won't need to pedal and sprint on the way into it. Be far more gravity orientated and be a much easier run-in. But I do kind of need to know whether I can do it on here to give me some confidence for trying this. And I mean, I haven't even decided yet. I'm kind of letting you on a bit of a behind the scenes. If I can do this and I can make it, then there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to build that one at 20 feet and everything will be fine. Anyway, I can feel myself kind of rambling and just putting off the inevitable. I need to find out whether we've got safety, hospital, safety, hospital. Oh no, that would have been bad if I'd have been trying. Anyway, look. Oh, tyre marks right over. Oh, there is the put down. That's not good. Oh man, that's not good at all. That's like a foot and a half into the hospital zone. Oh, imagine how bad that case would have been. Just spit you right over the bars, all sorts of problems. Right, well, I'm not being deterred. I want some redemption at that. Okay, attempt number 2 has gone a bit better. Not massively, but enough. So, this is I think that right there has been my put down, from what I can tell. It hasn't broken this 20 foot just made it line. That is 20 feet, isn't it? Yeah, 1 foot back from the 21. So it hasn't quite broken that line. It's close. You can just kind of see where I came down through here. Let's review it on the phone. Yeah, so it was just 20 foot. I'm going to take that though, because I know what the running's going to be like for this other jump, and yeah, maybe I could make the takeoff a little bit bigger. In fact, I probably should make the takeoff a little bit bigger just to help, because you don't want to be kind of like only just clearing it, or even though I know I'm going to have way more speed into it. But yeah, all in all, pretty good result. Not far off. To be fair though, I didn't make it to the line for the biscuit. Okay, so what's the moral of today's story? Is it, if at first you don't succeed, try again? No, because in this particular scenario, if at first you don't succeed, your case goes horribly wrong and you end up in the ambulance. Is it that someone with grey hair and who hasn't seen childhood since the 80s can still hook the meat 20 feet over of the log raft? No, not really. Watch your space, I'll still be doing it when I'm 50 odd. Is it that you don't need a £5 bike to be able to jump and play around? Not really. A £5 bike would be brilliant. The moral of today's story is nothing more complicated than sessioning jumps and dicking about on bikes in the woods is good. See you at the weekend.